main parties, Mr. David Granger, Mr. Moses Nakamoto, of course, accompanied by Tassa, complement.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's go to the podium.
On this historic occasion of the formation of the first National Unity Party to contest elections in the history of Guyana, it is my honor and privilege to welcome you all. Today, we take the first step in launching the APNU and AFC party to contest the upcoming elections. Together, we will work to rebuild our great country. As we acknowledge the legacy of our ancestors, we say to our leaders, the visionaries of our future, to our stalwarts, the vanguard of this movement, to the people of Guyana, whose interests we hold dear, and to all our viewers who are joining us via our live stream, welcome, welcome, welcome. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now have a prayer for our nation, which will be done by Ms. Jewel Todd, to be followed by the national pledge in which we will all participate.
Gracious God, we pray for your peace in our communities this day. We commit to you all who work for peace and an end to tensions, and those who work to uphold law and justice. We pray for an end to fear, for comfort and support to those who suffer, for calm in our streets and cities, that people may go about their lives in safety and peace. In your mercy, hear our prayers now and always. God, give peace for all who bear burden and privilege of leadership, political, military, and religious, asking for gifts of wisdom and resolve in the search for reconciliation and peace. Amen.
I pledge myself to honor always the flag of Guyana, and to be loyal to my country, to be obedient to the laws of Guyana, to love my fellow citizens, and to dedicate my energies towards the happiness.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will have messages coming from the political parties who have come together in this historic alliance. And they will follow this order. We'll have message coming from Mrs. Malaika Ramsey on behalf of the People's National Congress Reform. Mr. Alan Fernandez on behalf of Alliance for Change. Ms. Tavita Sarabo on behalf of Working People's Alliance. Mr. Jeffrey Sankis bring the message on behalf of Justice for All Parties. And we will have Ms. Cleveland Hudson bringing the message on behalf of National Front Alliance. And Mr. Sidney Alicock on behalf of the Guyana Action Party. I now invite Ms. Malaika Ramsey.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. APNU-AFC presidential candidate, Brigadier David Arthur Granger. APNU-AFC prime ministerial candidate, Mr. Moses Versami Nagamutu. Leaders of various political parties, members of the diplomatic corps, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, invitees all. Good morning. It is a distinct honor and privilege for me on this auspicious occasion of the launch of the APNU-AFC coalition to extend best wishes and congratulations to the political parties for making this giant step for our people and our country. And I do so on behalf of the leader, the Central Executive members of the People's National Congress Reform. This coalition is the realization of the aspiration of leaders of our party to establish a government of national unity, inclusive of all stakeholders, and to bring an end to winner-takes-all politics in Guyana. The Guyanese people deserve another lease on life, a good life, a living wage, quality education, health and social services, and a new constitution birthed in the realities of Guyana. The empowerment of our women and youth must be an overarching goal of the coalition government. Long live the APNU-AFC. Long live our presidential candidate, Brigadier David Arthur Granger. Long live our prime ministerial candidate, Mr. Moses Versami Nagamutu. Victory will certainly be ours. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
The AFC believes that it was a patriotic responsibility to sign the Commonsburg Accord, which is the foundation that brings us here today to this historic and watershed occasion in the life of our nation. As a party, we are of the view that the Alliance for Change needed to lead by demonstrating to the nation in a tangible and meaningful way that it was steadfast in its commitment to advocating the cause of the Guyanese people. We needed to cut ties with the politics of old and start anew, forging ahead, giving a united Guyana a second chance. We believe that regardless of where you stand in political space, regardless of the texture of your hair, regardless of your religious persuasions, regardless of your gender or sexual orientation, that we are one people, one nation, with one destiny. We are one Guyana. We, together, we must succeed. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I stand before you to bring this message on behalf of the Working People's Alliance. Today, by this important act of coalition between a Partnership for National Unity and the Alliance for Change, Guyana has been firmly set on the path of national unity and reconciliation. This dream has evaded us, the nation, for the last 60 years, in the process of which generations of Guyanese patriots and the masses of our people have been consumed by the strife that today necessitates the renewed pursuit of the dream. Today, with the APNU and AFC coalition, the nation is on the threshold of greater things, and the nation's young people may at last experience a brighter future. But this will become a reality only when the APNU-AFC coalition wins the May 11th general and regional elections. The nation's destiny is in our hands. We must do it now. Tomorrow is not an option. On May 11th, we must have a people's victory that will restore our beloved country to its rightful place among the progressive, democratic, and prosperous nations of the world. The WPA pledges to do everything in our power to ensure victory in the upcoming elections. Equally important, we are committed to continue to exercise our positive influence in the government of national unity. Achieving this historic unity must be a primary responsibility of all patriots. Forward to victory. On May 11, 2015, Guyana will be reborn. Thank you.
Madam Chairperson, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the media, ladies and gentlemen of the media, President-in-Waiting, Mr. David Granger, Prime Minister-in-Waiting, Mr. Moses Nagamootoo, distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, those of us who are here today are indeed fortunate to be participants in this an historic event that ushers in a new era in the political, economic, social life of our beloved nation state, Guyana. For 60 years, the quest to be one nation, one people, has eluded our leaders. But now, our new representatives have finally and successfully put Guyana first. Today, we welcome our brothers and sisters of the Alliance for Change as they join with a Partnership for National Unity to form one mighty, irresistible, unstoppable movement that will provide the environment for progress and development for all. Ladies and gentlemen, our reputation as a narco state, a country where youths are jobless, where accountability is non-existent, and where crime and corruption have rampaged unchecked and has made us the pariah of the Caribbean and the hemisphere. Our citizens are no longer prepared to live under these conditions. Change is here. A glorious future is at hand for our children, our students at school and college and university. Respect and honor for the elderly will return. I invite all who love our country, from whatever walk of life, civil society, trade union, the agricultural sector, and the religious community, join with us, stand side by side, and let us together provide a better life for all. Congratulations to the APNU and the AFC to a new Guyana come May the 11th, 2015. Long live unity. Long live unity. God bless you.
The Guyana Action Party, a member of a Partnership for National Unity, fully supports the APNU-AFC coalition. We in the Guyana Action Party place full confidence in the coalition to foster the national unity that Guyana cries out for. We believe that this is a time in the history of our nation for all Guyanese to rally around the coalition to bring about the change that Guyana needs to make our country a better place for a better life for all. In this regard, we look forward to 1. Constitutional reform. 2. The revision of the Amerindian Act for it to be renamed the Indigenous Peoples Act. Greater protection for land and resource rights of the indigenous people. Protect monitor, and respect the ecosystem. We in the Guyana Action Party gives our total support to the presidential and prime ministerial candidates of the coalition as we move confidently towards the May 11th national and regional elections. There is nothing stopping us from a resounding victory. Long live our presidential candidate, the great General Mr. Granger. We need security, and this is the man who could lead us to feel comfortable in our homes and in our country. We support our prime ministerial candidate, the fighter, Mr. Nagamutu. Long live the coalition. Long live Guyana and all Guyanese. May God bless Guyana. Thank you very much.
It is public knowledge that the Justice for All Party, under the strong and wise leadership of C.N. Sharma, has always been over the years the champion of the poor, disenfranchised, and those persons who have been discriminated against by the PPP regime. So now, as a member of a partnership of national unity, it is no surprise that the Justice for All Party fully endorses the vision of an inclusive, just, and equitable society that APNU-AFC embraces. We stand committed to collaborating with all members of the APNU-AFC coalition to achieve a government of national unity, and we call on all rank-and-file members to give full and unconditional support to having a government of national unity. The Justice for All Party remains loyal to its constituents and committed to all our core values, and will continue relentlessly to fight against corruption, discrimination, and injustice. The Justice for All Party remains committed to its vision of a Guyana where people are safe in their homes, live productive lives free from poverty, hunger, and political, racial, or sexual discrimination. And we strongly believe that being a partner in the APNU-AFC coalition will make that possible at the upcoming general and regional elections on May 11, 2015. Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming a cultural interlude performed by the Dubraj and Otishka drummers, Detroit Day, steel pan, on the steel pan, the Circle of Love Quartet. I hand you over to Russell Lancaster.
Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And today, of course, we thought that we would give you a broad spectrum of the kind of cultural activities that have been part of our Guyana experience. Of course, we go right back to where it all started, and I think this is a tradition that we've seen with all the cultures, the culture of the drum. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Otishka drummers and the Dubraj Tassa group as they do a cultural fusion. There's still some speculation as to whether the next drumming instrument originated here in Guyana or in Trinidad. I think it's Trinidad because we didn't have oil and they had the oil pan. So we'll give them the kudos for having formulated the only musical instrument that has come out of the 20th century, the steel pan. Ladies and gentlemen, recent winner at the steel pan competition, Panorama, during Carafesta, Detroit Day. I don't know if you recognize, but the two pieces you heard there were Oh, I Love My Country, Guyana, and of course, Not a Blade of Grass. So although Dave is not feeling very well this morning, he did say he was going to come and sing for us.
President in waiting, Brigadier General David Granger and Sandra, leaders of APNU-AFC parties, former speakers of the National Assembly, and former members of the National Assembly, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished civil society representatives, ladies, youths, and gentlemen. The last rendition of my native land perhaps has stripped me of the fire that would have been associated with a presentation such as this occasion warrants. This occasion has humbled me in many respects, seeing all of you from all corners of Guyana at this media launch. Today, we are making another giant step towards national reconciliation. This event, like that of February 14, will be remembered in the new pages of our history. Our grandchildren and their offsprings would find it under the subject index, Unity. Guyana objectively needs unity. And when many Guyanese saw the outcome of the talks between APNU and AFC, they responded, it is high time. It is time that we give meaning to the sacrifices and struggles of our people and of the generations living in the then colony or remaining in Guyana after independence. Since 1955, a single occurrence called the split had wounded our Guyanese civilization. It occasioned political and ethnic division. But today, Today, after 60 years, we are taking a conscious step to put the healing balm to the scars of that division. Today, we hold out a new promise of addressing the legacy of ethnic insecurity in Guyana. The restoration of electoral democracy in 1992 started a hopeful process, but it did not bring healing. After a few years, it saw a new cycle of autocratic one-party rule. The promise of 1992 faded, then became distorted in a frenzy of sleaze, corruption, and complicity in criminal enterprises. The gang of betrayers derailed our democracy. By 2011, the people of Guyana condemned the pseudo leaders to minority status, and though they tried to duck and dodge, eventually they buckled under pressure. These new premature elections are the final desperate refuge of a cowardly minority regime. Today, there is need for a new wave in our democracy to inject life into our decaying political system and to transform our governance by ending winner-takes-all politics, by taking Guyana along the road to multi-party, multi-ethnic national rule. The APNU-AFC Alliance is that new beginning in our quest for an inclusive democracy, not only of political parties, but civil society as well. It will be, as it has been, a bumpy road to the promised land. But we will not be daunted. We will not be intimidated. We shall defeat the monster of racism. We shall overcome the campaign of fear. On March 4th, 1933, 82 years today, at his inauguration as the President of the United States of America, Franklin D. Roosevelt stated famously, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. But today we have unity within our grasp. So there is nothing to fear, there is nothing to lose. Today, all of our people can embrace this fresh unity and proudly live out our common nationality as Guyanese. In our hand is the key to unity. Over these 54 years of my life in the political arena, I have worked for this day, when a broad coalition, a rainbow coalition, could be possible. I have seen the contours of this coalition during 1975, 1977, and again in 1985. Not its substance. Today, the APNU-AFC Team Unity have achieved not only a political union, but have outlined plans and programs for investment, growth, and development of a new Guyana. We must, going forward, give meaning to our creed, as I said before, of one people, one nation, with one destiny. And like Alexander Dumas's Three Musketeers, from now onwards, we are one for all for one. Today, we are seeing an alignment of brilliant stars from all the parties that have come together. And I believe that destiny has brought us here on a single platform for a single purpose. I still remember the fleeting moments of meeting David Granger when we were both in short pants in my native village, Wim. And we crossed paths on our way to the Auckland Scotch School. Our lives would have taken us to different paths. His to a career in teaching, in the police, in the military, as a historian, as a publicist, and mine also in teaching journalism, politics, and law. But if as boys we shared a village and a school, tell me why today can we not share? We shared a village and a school. Tell me why today can we not share in common our country, our Guyana home? Whilst we will contest this election on issues, not personalities, I have no doubt in my mind that the APNU-AFC Alliance will be victorious. And that David Granger will be Guyana's next president. I have every reason to feel that as president, David will be just and fair, and that he will put Guyana first. That he will help to restore our beloved country to the place of respect and dignity in the Caribbean and in the rest of the world. Today, as perhaps destiny would have had it, our gold and green flag has blended harmoniously. Like the rhythm of the tassa and the steel pan, and the comfort and the nagara, the field of gold of the AFC is merged with the rich, bountiful, green natural resources of APNU. And so it has been willed. As we prepare to take office, we note how utterly depraved this government has become by shamelessly misusing public funds. One area will suffice. Our children, like little Red Riding Hood, are given a modern-day glimpse of the big bad wolves with new, brighter, but bigger teeth. They better to laugh at our people's pains and miseries. Our alliance has said it is enough. There will be and must be a stop to this kind of madness. A new day must come, and it will come. As in the words of our national poet Martin Carter, inexorably and inevitably that new day will come. For us, for all Guyana, for all Guyanese, May 11th must be Deliverance Day. Today there is a reason for hope and optimism. Everywhere in Sri Lanka, in tiny St. Kitts and Nevis, Team Unity has won. It is time, in the lyrics of Bob Marley, that we in Guyana, we get together and feel all right. And finally, and in conclusion, long live APNU-AFC Unity. Long live our new Guyana. Thank you.
What a unity call. Okay, I will re-invite the Circle of Love Quartet to give us the Song of the Republic.
So let's listen.
Speaks of part to guarantee lost lands. Your children pledge each faithful Lord to guard Guyana's lands, to foil the shock of rule invaders who violate our right, to cherish and defend forever the state that gave them birth. We'll forge the nation's mighty sword, construct a nation's flame. Freedom or everlasting goal, courage and shrewd our aim, unyielding in the quest for peace, like ancient heroes brave, to strive and never cease, with strength beyond the slave. Guyana climbed the glorious perch to fame prosperity. Join in the universal search for worldwide comity. Your people whatsoever breathe, there you are quality, with one form never changing creed. The nation's unity.
Have come to the high point of today's event, and that is the charge. I wish to introduce the person who will do the charge today. A soldier, journalist, historian, political leader, Mr. David Arthur Granger, has lived a life of service to Guyana. In uniform, he rose to the rank of Brigadier and Commander of the Guyana Defense Force. His work as a historian, editor, and publisher saw him chronicling the living history of our time. As a politician, his commitment to the creation of a government of national unity, determination, and fortitude. David Granger now stands as the leader of this formidable movement that will bring much needed change to our beloved country, Guyana. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we welcome Guyana's next president, David Arthur Granger.
Rousing round of applause for Mr. David Granger, who is the leader of this partnership, and he will be giving the charge.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, from the Upper Mazaruni, Don Hastings. Prime Ministerial Candidate Moses Nagamutu and Mrs. Nagamutu, members of the Alliance for Change and Partnership for National Unity, ladies and gentlemen of the media, members of the Diplomatic Corps, fellow Guyanese. It is my honor to bring a message of national unity and democratic renewal to you today at the start of this very important campaign to win the 2015 general and regional elections. I'm grateful to the representatives of Partnership for National Unity and the Alliance for Change for toiling for several weeks to hammer out the Cummingsburg Accord and for selecting me as their presidential candidate.
Hello?
We shall together lead the majority of citizens who struggle daily against disunity and against a dictatorial government, and who seek a good life in the land of their birth. We are one nation. We are assured that in the campaign ahead, the overwhelming majority of Guyanese, young and old, rich and poor, women and men in all 10 administrative regions and in the diaspora want to win. They want to improve their quality of life and to remove the oppressive, undemocratic, and anti-working class People's Progressive Party from government. We are one nation. That is why we agreed on the 14th of February in the Cummingsburg Accord to combine our energy and our resources to achieve the goal of national unity. Our singular mission is one of service, is one of solidarity, and is one of national salvation. We wrestle against a presidency that has damaged our republic by the denial of democracy. We wrestle against a presidency which, for the last 7 months, paralyzed the parliament by the promulgation of an obnoxious prorogation order. We wrestle against a party which, for the last 18 years, has prevented the holding of local government elections. We wrestle against a PPP that daily is inflicting damage on our university, our teachers' training college, our schools. We wrestle against a party that is failing our young people and driving talented citizens to migrate to other countries. We wrestle against crime, against corruption, and against cronyism. Indeed, it is written in the Holy Bible, and I quote, "We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness of the world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." We have come together because the nation is at breaking point. Guyanese have been fatigued by 2 decades. 2 decades of fickle promises, of fatuous platitudes, of failed projects. Our young people demand jobs. Not jails, not drop-in centers, jobs. Our women and children demand safety at home, not safe houses, safe homes. Our fishermen and miners demand protection from pirates and bandits. Our paddy farmers and businessmen demand fairness. And our hinterland regions demand development, not gifts, not goodies, not grants, but development. The People's Progressive Party has dragged us to the very pit of Human Development Index. The record rates of arson, of armed robbery, of murders, of suicides, road fatalities, illiteracy, unemployment, trafficking in persons, and trafficking in narcotics have made our country into a pariah state in this hemisphere. Happy people do not kill themselves. Happy people do not kill their wives. Happy people do not kill one another. Guyana is an unhappy country. The PPP, worst of all, has divided our nation. It offers favors to its favorites, but it inflicts unbearable burdens on the masses of housewives, public servants, working people, paddy farmers, fisher folk, and students. We are one nation, and that is why we see the way forward through the establishment of government of national unity, one that serves every citizen, not just a chosen few, one that serves all of our regions, hinterland and the coastland. The APNU-AFC coalition is the boldest step taken in 6 decades of our political history. A step to replace political hostility with unity, to replace confrontation with cooperation, to replace dictatorship with democracy. APNU-AFC coalition has chosen hope over despair and faith over fear. The APNU-AFC coalition will give Guyanese an education system that will produce citizens of quality who will be happy to remain here at home to build our great, beautiful country. We shall create employment opportunities in science, in technology, in engineering, in mining, agro-processing, and the arts to provide jobs and promote economic growth. We shall create an empowerment policy that regularly renews local democracy by ensuring that local government elections are held every 36 months, as stipulated by our Constitution, so that our villages, towns, and neighborhoods are well governed. We shall ensure that there is an energy policy that utilizes our wind, our water, and solar power to provide cheap, renewable electricity to all Guyanese, Guyanese in urban, rural, and riverine and hinterland communities. We shall provide an enterprise and economic development policy that provides a level playing field for local entrepreneurs and foreign investments and our huge diaspora to enable them to develop our resources. We shall provide a special social, cultural policy that will harness and develop the creative energies of our people, that will support the holistic development of our athletes and our youth. We shall provide a security policy that safeguards our citizens and our territory, allowing Guyanese to feel safe as they go about their daily lives. We shall provide an information and communication technology policy that will extend access to the information superhighway, support the development of our country, and especially provide education to our young people. We are one nation. Our APNU-AFC coalition will lead this nation into the celebration on the 26th of May next year, 14 months away, as we observe the 50th anniversary of our independence. Our parents and foreparents came from different continents of Earth, from here in the Americas, from Africa, from Asia, and from Europe to labor for a good life. We are their heirs. We shall not deny their descendants the fruits of their labor. We shall not allow a few greedy men and women to steal their legacy or to sell their birthright. We shall not allow the PPP to squander our inheritance. We shall not surrender our God-given right to live in the best, biggest, and most beautiful country in the Caribbean, Guyana. Guyana is ours. We are one nation. We assure you today that the Cummings-Berg Accord is not a crass, short-term, office-sharing bargain. It is a visionary initiative. It will ensure a real government of national unity, not a bogus civic alliance. It will ensure that our multi-ethnic, multicultural society provides a place for all citizens to prosper. It will ensure that all Guyanese, regardless of their gender, geographic location, class, creed, or ethnic origin, enjoy a good life. It will ensure that the creation of an environment that is free from the ravages of poverty and discrimination, and from the scourge of criminal violence, epidemic disease, and ignorance. It will ensure that information and communication technology are extended to all the corners of our country. The Cummings-Berg Accord, therefore, is actually a public covenant. It is a social contract, a contract between the combined majority in APNU and AFC and the people of this country to create a just society, a stable political environment with a prosperous economy. Our covenant is a commitment to change the political culture of this country, and to change the way we see ourselves and we see each other. It is a fresh new way of looking at this great land that God has given us. Life in Guyana must not be a nightmare for the next generation. Neither must it be an idle dream. I see children embarking on a bus in Crabwood Creek on the Currentine River, but being able to drive on our highways all the way to Sand Creek on the Rupununi River. I see children getting close enough to observe the world's greatest anthieta. I see children observing the world's largest eagle, the world's largest freshwater fish, the world's largest river otter, the world's largest rodent, the world's largest river turtle, South America's largest cat, largest snake, right here in Guyana. This is our inheritance, this is our legacy. Our children must benefit. This whole country belongs to them, not a little cabal. The backward PPP administration is too blind to see the beauty of this country. It is deaf to the cries of our people. The PPP refuses to invest in the infrastructure of highways and bridges that would integrate our people and our regions, that would promote social cohesion and foster economic growth. We are one nation. We shall have endured, by the 11th of May, over 22.5 years of PPP corruption and incompetence. We've experienced the erosion of our quality of life, the corrosion of our values and institutions, particularly the most prized institution, our National Assembly, where the representatives of the majority of people should be debating the destiny of this country. We have witnessed how political empowerment at the national, regional, and local levels has been damaged, how the environment has been mutilated, how individual equality for the young and social protection for the aged have been diminished. We have witnessed how public health care and human safety have been degraded. We are one nation. We are already more than two parties, but we have become a national movement. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. The momentum of the coalition has generated a movement that is a people's movement, a movement of people who are satisfied that their desire for change will be realized through the APNU-AFC coalition. United, we stand the best chance to fulfill our destiny. Divided, we fall prey to the PPP's divisive tactics, tactics which could allow the PPP to return to office. Life in Guyana, if that happens, could even be more nasty, more brutish for the majority. The truth is that the nation is weary. We are fed up with the PPP. We are fed up with its winner-takes-all strategy. We are fed up with the PPP holding on to power at any cost. We are fed up with the PPP's divide and rule tactics that foment hatred and foster hostility. We are fed up with the one-size-fits-all village policy that impoverishes our countryside and our hinterland. We are one nation, and we declare today that the APNU-AFC coalition will adopt a unified approach and bring an end to cronyism at high levels that has drained our financial resources and is blocking our development. We will bring an end to crime that is bleeding the lives and bodies of our women and children, scarring our residents and citizens and scaring away investors. We will bring an end to corruption in the law enforcement and regulatory agencies, in the mining and forestry sectors. We will bring an end to constitutional abuse by the President, by his cabinet, and by the executive branch of government. APNU-AFC coalition will change Guyana forever. I'm happy today to have at my side my current team colleague from Wim Village, Moses Nagamutu, a committed campaigner who cares about the conditions under which ordinary people live and work. I'm honored to have the support of my colleagues in APNU and AFC, who up to last Saturday represented 175,000 voters. We have collaborated over the last 3 years in the National Assembly. We were together when we elected an AFC nominee as Speaker. We were together when we worked towards making government more transparent. We were together when we demanded a reduction of oppressive taxation. We were together when we disapproved of wasteful expenditure in the annual budgets in 2012, 2013, and 2014. We were together when we adopted a concerted approach to the passage of enabling legislation for anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism, legislation for the establishment of a public procurement commission, legislation for the conduct of local government elections by the 1st of August 2014. We were together when we passed a motion of no confidence in this arrogant administration. We were together when we passed resolutions calling for investigations into trafficking in persons, into the deaths of Amerindian children from gastroenteritis, into the deaths on the rivers of our country, and much more. APNU and AFC have worked together for 3 years. This collaboration is not new, and we shall continue to work together. For the good of the people of this country. We are one nation. The future beckons. We assure all Guyanese, but most of all, our women, our youth, and our children, that we will work to ensure that you all have a good life. We are one nation, and we shall celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence in May 2016, 14 months from now. And I assure you, that we should all be able to look back at what happens today and what happened on the 14th of February with satisfaction, because we would have restored dignity to our nation. Today, I close by wishing you, particularly our Chinese citizens, including Sandra, who early this morning helped me to type this script. A prosperous year of the sheep. Happy year of the sheep, Sandra. To our Hindus, a happy Holi, which we'll be celebrating in a few days' time. To Christians, a blessed Lenten season. And to all of you, I wish you God's richest blessings. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now have, as stated on the program, a video presentation.
Yeah.